Midas and his friends are returning to Fortnite. Chapter 5, Season 2. After escaping from Hades, we all thought Midas was going to stick around and help Agent Jones fight against Zeus, who at the time was committed to destroy everyone living on the Fortnite island. But instead, he took his beloved Marigold, the boat, and started sailing towards this mountain. Now, why would Midas and his friends sail towards this particular mountain? Now, the answer to that question can be found in this timeline. As you can see, after Chapter 5, Season 4, just like last year, we will be going back in time, but this time, rather than Chapter 1, we will be going to the Chapter 2 map. So we know that Midas and his friends are going to the Chapter 2 map, but why are they heading towards this particular mountain? Now, to understand this, we're gonna have to go all the way back to Chapter 2, Season 1. I'm giving away a free skin to a lucky subscriber every week. All you have to do is subscribe, and if you want to help me out, use code SMJM and like this video. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but in Chapter 2, Midas was a part of the Imagine Order. Now, if you look at this image right here, you can see a young Midas in the classroom inside the Imagine Order's headquarters, and you can see right here the person teaching is little Dr. Sloan. Midas wanted to become the head of the Imagine Order. He was the smartest, also extremely brave. Everyone was convinced that he was going to be the head of the IO. And all of a sudden, this little girl shows a huge amount of talent. Still, everyone thinks that Midas is the ideal candidate for this leadership. And the reason for this is because one thing Midas had that Dr. Sloan didn't was the experience on the battlefield. Midas knew how to fight and defeat his enemies, and that is a very useful skill to have, especially on the Fortnite island where it's constantly being attacked. The person who actually picked the head of the IO was the founder, Geno. He speaks with both Midas and Dr. Sloan. He asked Midas what was his plan for the Imagine Order. Midas tells Geno that he wants to lead this Fortnite island by freeing everyone from the loop and gaining their trust. Now, he wants to do this by creating this device called the Doomsday Device. Midas also thought that relying too much on the 0 point was too dangerous, because if something happened to the 0 point, the Imagine Order would be completely useless. As soon as Geno heard Midas's plan, Geno gave the leadership to Dr. Sloan, whose plan was to keep everyone in the loop in this hypnotic state so they can control everyone and everything on the island. This makes Midas extremely angry, so he leaves the Imagine Order, creates his own organization. That is exactly what he does, and his mission is quite simple. He wants to create a Doomsday Device and break the loop. One of the person he goes to is his daughter, Jules. Jules is a very skilled and experienced mechanic. They built a huge base in the middle of the map called the Agency. The reason why they're using this little island in the middle of the map to construct their base and also the Doomsday Device is because of the 0 point. To run this Doomsday Device, which is going to be very powerful, he is going to need a lot of energy, something that can only be generated by the 0 point. Chapter 2, Season 2 is here. Midas has constructed the Doomsday Device, and on June 6th of 2020, Midas uses the Doomsday Device to stop the storm and destroy the Fortnite loop. During the event, you can see this device push the storm back. Everything seems to be going according to the plan. In fact, the device actually works. It pushes the storm back. We escape the loop for a few seconds and ended up inside of the Imagine Order's headquarters, which is outside the loop. But Agent Jones and Dr. Sloan decide to replace the storm with a tsunami, and that actually worked. The entire map gets flooded, the Doomsday Device is destroyed, and Midas gets eaten by a shark. But it turns out Midas turn that shark into gold. And he goes straight to Hades because he wants his revenge. In Chapter 2, Season 4, Midas promises Hades something that we don't know yet in return for a darkness power that would allow him to be extremely powerful and take his revenge on the Imagine Order and the Fortnite Island. Hades sends a bunch of witches to cast a spell on Midas, gives him the power of darkness. He has the power to summon people that has just been eliminated back to the island. This was a great plan for Midas, but unfortunately the timing was wrong because at the time on the island, the Avengers was here to protect against Galactus. Even though Midas created a lot of chaos on the island for a little bit, but eventually he gets defeated yet again. We don't hear or see anything related to Midas until Chapter 3, but in Chapter 2 Season 5 we find out that Jules, Midas's daughter, has joined the Imagine Order. Now we think Midas has told Jules to join them so he can gather more information because it looks like he's still not done with them. Now in Chapter 3 a mysterious house shows up on the island and you can see a bunch of Midas related item is found. You can find napkins with the initial M. Now we think this is either Midas or actually Marigold, Midas's wife. Marigold reveals to us that she has been looking for Midas because he has gone missing. She tells us she has been looking literally everywhere you can see in this trailer. She accidentally finds Aurelia instead of Midas. You can also see a book inside of the house. This looks like Midas's handbook. You can see this note taken, a doodle of the Doomsday device. Now I think the reason why Midas went missing is because Hades captured him. I think after Midas failed his mission to take down the Imagine Order and capture the Fortnite Island, I think Hades, with the help of Kato Thorn, went to Midas and captured him. As a reward, Kato Thorn took Midas's hand. If you remember, in Chapter 4, Season 4, if you went inside of Kato Thorn's vault, you would find Midas's drum gun and also Midas's hand as well. Just after being captured, Zeus captures Hades, puts him inside of the Pandora's box, and next time we see Midas was in Chapter 5, Season 2. Marigold, who has been looking for Midas for years, finally gets closer. She's the one who finds out that Midas is stuck inside of a cell at the underground and the place is guarded by Hades. Midas sees an opportunity when one of the gods releases one of Midas's arm. I think the god completely forgot that Midas has the golden touch. He turns the guard into gold, turns the chain into gold as well, and breaks free. After Midas escapes Hades' dungeon, he goes straight towards his beloved Marigold, his boat. It was completely abandoned after the society was defeated by Zeus. He also meets up with his old friends. Now at this point, Agent Jones and the Underground are trying their best to hire Midas because obviously Zeus wants to attack all of the mortals and defeat them. He thinks Midas would be a great ally. But rather than saving us all, Midas and his friends decides to leave the Fortnite Island. But everyone is confused. Why would Midas leave so soon? Especially now that the Fortnite Island is free of the Imagine Order. Everything becomes clear when Midas says that he's going to a bigger island. This island isn't big enough. And he heads straight towards this mountain. That's right, this is a huge clue right over here because in Chapter 2 Island, you could see this exact mountain but facing the other side. Does this mean that Chapter 2 map is on the other side of this mountain? If it's true, that means Midas and his friends are headed right towards the Chapter 2 map. If you look at this timeline that was leaked by Fortnite a few months ago, you can see we are joining Midas and his friends and going to Chapter 2. Please use code SM Jam, subscribe and like this video.